Bismillah. So I will be talking about the New Testament today. New Testament and logic. Bismillah, Salam. I'm not a Christian, neither am I a New Testament scholar. My position regarding the New Testament is not to nullify the context and message as false, but instead to verify the relationship between the Lord Jesus and Mary, the supposed mother of Jesus, according to the New Testament writing. So here is the thing. I'm subjecting the New Testament to its own logic, derived from its own messages and context. And in doing that, I will use that logic to verify the relationship between Mary and Jesus. So, the issues arising from the study of the New Testament regarding the relationship of Mary and Jesus is that all through the text, the New Testament gospel narrations, Mary is being addressed as the mother of Jesus by the disciples of Jesus or the congregation that are listening to the teachings of Jesus, which means these people don't really have the knowledge of what the relationship between Mary and Jesus is. So, Mary being addressed as the mother of Jesus all through the New Testament narration is either the disciples of Jesus are the one talking or those that are the listeners of Jesus. The second issue that is noted in studying the New Testament is that the disciples of Jesus are ignorant. Literally, as the word sounds, they are ignorant. So, these disciples of Jesus emphasizing throughout the text that Mary is the mother of Jesus should be somehow probed into because they don't really have the knowledge of the issue. They don't have the knowledge of the kind of relationship between Mary and Jesus. So their repeated emphasis that Mary is the mother of Jesus might be wrong because they are ignorant. The third thing is the authority of the New Testament as a narration is not with the disciples but with Jesus, because without the presence of Jesus in the New Testament narrations, the document becomes invalid. So the validity of the New Testament depends on the presence of the character Jesus. So we can as much say without Jesus there is no New Testament, because the so-called covenant of the New Testament is pivoted on Jesus. And as I've said, without Jesus, there is no New Testament. So the person that validates the writings that is today known and circulated as the New Testament is Jesus himself. So if the authority of the New Testament lies and rests on Jesus, then anything not sanctioned by Jesus in the New Testament narration should not be taken as important or authoritative. So the disciples of Jesus repeatedly emphasizing that Mary is the mother of Jesus, I don't think should be binding as authoritative if Jesus, that is the authority of the New Testament, did not sanction that claim. So it will only be that the disciples are only uttering words from their ignorance. And I think Jesus did tolerate them in their ignorance. So the fourth thing is that Jesus never addressed Mary as his mother all through the New Testament narration. You can't find any passage where Jesus addressed Mary as his mother. Instead, you rather find where Jesus addressed Mary as woman. Now, here is the thing. How respectful or obedient is it for his son, a child, to address his mother as a woman? So who among you, the Christians, can adopt that system of address, and that for your mother to be precise? So instead of referring to your mother as mother, you decide to adopt the style of Jesus, woman. You dare not. And that's why the followers of Muhammad trying to study the New Testament have always emphasized that the New Testament presents Jesus as a rude child. Because how can a son refer to his mother as woman? There is no respect in that. And considering the fact that Jesus is a prophet that lived his life based on the standard of the laws of Moses, that indeed said, "Thou shalt respect and honor your father and mother." I don't think Jesus referring to his mother supposedly as woman is a form of honor for his mother. Definitely not. So the fifth issue is that Mary never addressed Jesus as my son. Not for once in the New Testament narrations. You can't find such address in the New Testament. Though the account of Luke tried to present a situation where Jesus lagged behind in Jerusalem and Mary was looking for him. So she and Joseph, reportedly in the narration, came looking for Jesus and he was found at the temple in Jerusalem. So in that context, Luke tried to present the situation as if Mary addressed Jesus as son. Not my son, but son. So that son in that context is trying to present Jesus as the son of Mary. And I think that's the only place in the New Testament that such address is. So Luke tried to present to us in all ramifications that Jesus is indeed the son of Mary. But in the same passage, you see the response of Jesus to the claim of Mary searching for him, or the complaint, because that's a complaint. In the response of Jesus, there is no remorsefulness nor sense of respect for the feelings of Mary, because his response is such as, "Why are you concerned about me? I'm supposed to be about the business of my father." Meanwhile, the claim of Mary is she and Joseph, the supposed New Testament adopted father for Jesus, had been looking or searching for Jesus. So Mary tried to present a situation to Jesus there that Jesus did put a distress on her and his father. And the response of Jesus is off, totally off, without considering the feelings of Mary, whether she is distressed or not. So the context there is in contrast to each other. The context there is in contrast. Jesus cared less about the feelings of Mary in that passage. So that indeed nullified the claim that Jesus is the son of Mary, as that context tried to present it. So, considering the messages in the New Testament, having seen that Mary is being addressed as the mother of Jesus by the disciples of Jesus all through the New Testament narration, that's the number one issue. The second issue is disciples of Jesus are ignorant. Yes, they are ignorant. The third thing is the authority of the New Testament as the narration is on Jesus, not on the disciples. The fourth thing is Jesus never addressed Mary as his mother, not for once in the New Testament. And Mary never addressed Jesus as my son. And I've tried to present the context and I've tried to present the context of Luke. So the message of the New Testament about Jesus, I will focus mainly on the Gospel of John, because in it the major and foundational belief of Christianity is established. This will be an introductory part, yes, and as God will, I will continue from where I stop now in the next video. So the next thing we have to check is the messages of John, and then we'll make some logical statements from what John wrote in his gospel about whom Jesus is. I will make the logical statements, and after the logical statements has been established, we'll bring in some propositions regarding the logic that will a kind of shed more light on the relationship between Mary and Jesus in the New Testament. This will want to affect the traditional belief system of Christianity, because we are looking at something very different, a new light. But don't worry, we talk about logic here. So if there is any step that is off the logical process, you can indeed question the logic. It's not something that is dogmatic.